Your TI-84, I'm going to teach you right now how to use it to multiply complex binomials, and you won't have to do any foiling, okay? So here we go. Here is your first zero. So like our other examples, we know that if we have -1 minus I as a zero, that's a complex number with an imaginary part. So that means -1 plus I, its conjugate must also be a zero. So we can do synthetic division to get this 4th degree polynomial down into a quadratic, a 2nd degree polynomial. Then we can work on factoring that or using the solutions only method to find the last 2 zeros. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's put -1 minus I on the outside. Okay, that's going to be our divisor. And our dividend, okay, so we got 1x to the 4th plus 2x cubed minus 4x minus 4. So notice that there is no x squared, so we're going to remember that's plus 0x squared. That's our placeholder. Okay, so it's going to be 1x to the 4th plus 2x cubed plus 0x squared minus 4x to the 1st minus 4 constant, x to the 0th. Nothing has changed yet. We bring the 1 down. We multiply c, or the 0, by 1, and we get -1 minus I. Okay. Add like terms. 2 plus -1 minus I. Well, imagine that the I is a variable, okay? Imagine it's like an x. So I can't add 2 and x together and get one term. You can't combine unlike terms. But I can take the 2 and the -1, add them together, and I get +1. Bring down the minus I. Now here's where I'm going to let the calculator help us, because you know that you have to take -1 minus I and multiply it by 1 minus I. So let's switch over. Now I am in my TI-84 screen, and I remember I wanted to multiply -1 minus I times 1 minus I. So here are the buttons I would push. Okay, I would put my first term in parentheses, -1 minus. Now where's the I? The I is right here. Okay, it is 2nd decimal point. Okay, 2nd decimal point. That's -1 minus I. And we're going to multiply it by 1 minus I. So 1 minus, again, 2nd decimal point is the I. And I just hit enter. Believe it or not, it's -2. Okay, so here we are, we're back. And we are going to put that -2 right there, because we said -1 minus I times 1 minus I was -2. Now we add 0 plus -2, we get -2. We're going to multiply -2 times -1 minus I. Now, folks, you can use the calculator for that too if you want, but I mean, that one you really should know how to do. If you take -1 minus I and multiply it by -2, it's just a distributive property. Okay, -2 times -1 is +2. -2 times minus I would be +2I. So we're going to put it right there, 2 plus 2I. Now we're going to add -4, which means we have to add -4 to the 2, because those are the only 2 like terms in that column. So -4 plus 2 is -2. Bring down your +2I. And then we're going to multiply -1 minus I by -2 plus 2I. So we're going to multiply -1 minus I. So -1 minus I is 2nd decimal point. I'm going to multiply that by -2 plus 2I. So make sure you hit the negative sign, not the minus sign. Okay, -2 plus 2I is 2nd decimal. All right, and that equals 4, okay, which will make sense in a second. Let's go back to our notes board. We're back. So we said that the product of those two numbers was 4. And you add this column and you have your remainder. of 0, right? So we're going to do what we've been doing, and that is once we use 1, 0 to synthetically divide down 1 degree. So we went from x to the 4th to x to the 3rd. Now I want to go down to x squared. So I'm going to use the other 0. So I'm going to put -1 plus I right out here. Okay. Bring the 1 down. Multiply anything by 1. We're just going to have the same old thing. So -1 plus I times 1 is -1 plus I. Let's add the column. Right? 1 plus -1, those are like terms, that's 0. Negative I plus positive I, like terms, it's 0. Cool. 0 times anything is going to give me 0. -2 plus 0 is -2. Okay. And now if I multiply -2 times -1 plus I, there's -1 plus I times the 2. Again, distributed property, I got +2 minus 2I. Add the like terms. -2 plus 2 cancels to 0. Plus 2I minus 2I cancels to 0. So there is my remainder. So what does that leave me with? That one is x squared plus 0x minus 2. So we're going to find the last 2 zeros because it says find the remaining zeros. So the last 2 zeros, we're going to set this equal to 0. And we're going to add 2. And then we're going to square root both sides, which means we're going to plus minus the answer. So let's look at the question one more time, shall we? It says determine the remaining zeros. They gave us -1 minus I as the first 0. We found the second I just by knowing the complex conjugate rule. So our second 0 was -1 plus I. And then we found plus or minus √2. So we got √2 and -√2. Those are the 4 zeros, okay? And we have finished this question, okay? If you have questions, you know where to find me, and hopefully that helped. See ya.